Hello and welcome to another episode of unComplex. I'm your host Adriaan van Berg. Today, unfortunately, Lionel is back home doing business in Switzerland, so I've got all the pleasure to myself with incredible guest, Marek Dietl, the previous president of the Warsaw Stock Exchange, and of course the advisor of economic matters to the president of Poland. Marek, what an honor. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much for having me here. Bottom line from this simple sketches is that tariffs hurt very differently different industries because every time you have to know how actually the supply and demand are playing together. So of course I fully admire my fellow macroeconomics expert, but they usually take this, let us assume that there's a kind of average market with this averages demand and supply, and actually this so-called first statistical moment average is not a very good description of the reality. For example, when I walk my dog, we have on average 3 legs, but none of us have a 3 legs. So basically we should look, coming to your also reference to the capital markets, who is the winner, who is the loser on the industry level. That's why Mr. Trump, or what was also mentioned by his advisors, decided to lift the tariffs on some iPhones and so on, because apparently the demand is quite steep for iPhones, and there was a quite heavy loss of consumer surplus if the prices were to increase. So every single industry might play out differently under this tariffs.
Now looking forward, short term, who will be the biggest winners, who will be the losers, and long term, what do you think?
Basically, I think short term, we should get ready for recession in the US. There will be a pain if the tariffs will be imposed on whatever level in 90 days. Also, this trade war with China will hurt the U.S. consumer and will contribute to the inflationary pressure. Also, the inflation expectation in the U.S. are approaching 7%, so the people expect the inflation, and this usually self-fulfilling prophecy with the inflation. So we can have stagflation, so no growth and inflation, which is not a good information, because basically, US is the greatest consumer in the world.
But now last week we also saw a bizarre situation in Poland with the Warsaw Stock Exchange being suspended for trading.
So it happened for the first time. So we were, as a capital markets community, were shocked by that. As you mentioned, COVID, there was no suspension of trading, despite the fact that there was a huge pressure on me. The same when there was Russian aggression on Ukraine, we have not suspended trade, because the idea of exchange is that the optimists and pessimists are meeting together and they do a trade. Those who are optimists, they buy. Those who are pessimists are selling, and the stock exchange's infrastructure should allow it. There was simply the trading system was running out of capacity. And we were perfectly aware of that. In 2018, we decided to build our own proprietary trading system. And actually, this new trading system, proprietary trading system, which was the fastest trading system according to independent tests on planet. So it was twice as fast as the new generation NASDAQ system, for example. NASDAQ is the US. So it was absolutely masterpiece, technological masterpiece, what we developed. And also with the same hardware, it could run 5 times more orders per second than existing.
Can you give some numbers if you're talking about
20,000 orders for this system per second, and the new system with the same hardware is 100,000 orders. So it will be more than enough to for even very busy day. But the issue was that the system was developed in the agile methodology. So you develop it, but not that you have first documentation and then gradually you build the features and so on. But you build the features, you test them, and it's good. You continue, not you skip that with some sprints and so on. And to our surprise, some of our local clients, local brokers, were not eager to test the system. So there are some tech companies, there were international clients testing the system, but not the local ones. It was very strange, and it actually resulted in a delay of the project for 1 year. And the second issue, there was change of leadership, and the this project was put on the question for half a year. There was auditing if it's right and not, if we paid too much to the architects or not, whatever. So it was auditing. So it also cost some time because people were not eager to develop if they knew that it might be discontinued. Yeah. So it's a very unfortunate situation, and hopefully the new system is gonna be implemented smoothly, and something like this will never ever happen again.